So, are we allowed to think aloud here?
Yes.
Yes, you're allowed to think as aloud as you can.
It's right.
So what about the purpose? What is the purpose of Ramadan to someone who has no idea whatsoever?
So in Islam, and here's the thing: I'm not a scholar, so I'm not gonna be the one that answers this in detail, nor do I want to, because I think people should stick to going to authentic sources about Islamic
It should be left up to people's individuals' own interpretation.
No, not only that. Like that should also be a part of it, but it should also be scholars. Like go to scholars. So Imam Omar Sulaiman released this article called "Mindfulness During Fasting," and it's this amazing article. And Nouman Ali Khan and Omar Sulaiman and others. There's many others. My mind's going blank on who they are right now. That are scholars that are online on YouTube and explain Ramadan and its purpose and everything like that. But just a crash course on it, just from a normal regular Muslim who has no scholarship at all. All of worship when it comes to Islam is we do it because God says to, right? We pray 5 times a day because God commands us to, and we fast during Ramadan mainly because God commanded us to. That's really the number one reason. But it really is nice to delve into the outcomes, the things that we didn't, the benefits that we didn't see before, right? Like you've noticed in the last 2 years this new trend of intermittent fasting, where fasting has become the best way of dieting.
Yeah, it's a trend.
Yeah, it's literally a trend.
Not even for Muslims, just for anyone.
For anyone, and even in the Quran itself, it says, and fasting is good for you only if you knew. And now we're starting to know more and more about fasting. But kind of why we fast is, or at least how I think about Ramadan, is that and I always relate religion to sports. If we were in a sport and we play the sport year round, because that's how you usually play sports, year round, if you're really trying to get good at it, then you go to training camps. Then there's like this 2-week training camp where all of a sudden you're not training like you usually do. You're upping the intensity to a point that you can't really hold a yearly. You have to only do that for those 2 weeks. But when you come out of those 2 weeks, you actually become 10 times better than all of the practice you've been doing year round. And so that's kind of Ramadan when it comes to spirituality. Throughout the entire year, we should be practicing. We should be getting better. But God gave us a 1-month training camp of spirituality, where even the things that are halal for us, I think I told you what halal means, right? Halal food. You love halal food, man. Even the things that are permissible for us, meaning halal, are not, like food, water, sex with our wives. We're not allowed to have that during fasting. And that's because now the training has intensified. And by the end of Ramadan, what should end up happening is you've held yourself back from doing even halal and haram stuff. So you've held yourself back from doing what's permissible and what's not permissible. So by the end of Ramadan, it should be easier to just not do haram stuff, and you've now gotten the blessings of all the halal back into your life, right? So it actually makes the rest of training year round easier, and it's supposed to make it easier. So that's kind of how I think of Ramadan. And when it comes to the origin, I get this question a lot. What is the origin of Ramadan? Well, Ramadan is not, the origin isn't just Islamic, right? God in the Quran says, we have bestowed upon you, we have commanded upon you fasting, just like we have commanded upon the nations before you. And that usually entails Jews, Christians, and Christians have Lent, where they have to give up something. That I guarantee you that used to be Ramadan, and now is what it is today. And does the Jewish community have a form of fasting?
Yeah, we have periods of fasting. I know the one holiday is called Yom Kippur. I don't know the whole backstory. The older me would have known the whole backstory, but we do the same thing. We can't eat from sunup to sundown. Now, I only think it's either like for one day. It's definitely not for a whole month. Now, there could be other holidays in Judaism where you have to fast, but I don't know.
Yeah, wow,
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's really cool, yeah. And it really does, I've noticed the effects that it has on me is, first of all, we believe that the devils get locked up, like the smaller devils get locked up during Ramadan. So it actually gives you a really good insight as to what your own self-desires are versus what the devil kind of deludes you into doing, right? So you actually get to really get a peek into yourself as to what yourself is honing you to do. A lot of the times, like you'll blame the devil for smoking weed, right? There's literally, I don't know if people know this, weed is called the devil's lettuce, right? So people will blame the devil for smoking weed, but then come Ramadan, if you still find yourself itching to smoke weed, it ain't the devil, buddy. That's you, right? So that it gives you a good insight into that kind of stuff, and it really read what Imam Omar Suleiman wrote about the article of mindfulness, because when you're fasting, when you're hungry, and when you're thirsty, you're not thinking about tomorrow, you're not thinking about yesterday, you're thinking about how hungry and thirsty you are. So you're actually living in the moment completely, and that's actually what makes Ramadan so beautiful. And when it's over, that's why Muslims get upset, because our mindfulness has been removed, because we are no longer dedicating and suffering towards God, and it's interesting.
Okay. So you were alluding to like it's basically like a training camp, and you might have already and you're saying making you better, making you just a better overall Muslim, pretty much, is what Ramadan helps you do.
Well, being a better Muslim is also being a better person.
Yeah.
Right. So when Islam commands you to not drink, you know how happy the U.S. government is that there's at least 1% of their population and Muslims don't drink.
It's sober.
Yeah, it's sober, right? When Islam commands you not to gamble, when Islam commands you to give to the poor, when it commands you to have good character, these are all things that benefit society, benefits your real world, makes you a better citizen, makes you a better person overall. So yeah, being a better Muslim really just means being a better person overall.
Okay. Any presents?
Any presents?
Yeah.
Eid. So Eid is the celebration of when Ramadan is over. It's the after the 30th or 31st day of Ramadan. There's Eid, and Eid literally means we're not gonna get into that, but yeah, we do
Basically
presents.
just like a night
Like my parents give me idea, right? So they give you either money or presents, and we celebrate. And it's haram to fast on Eid. You are not allowed to fast during Eid. You have to eat. You have
24-hour feast, pretty much.
Yes.
Okay.
And you have a lot of fun. And one cool thing I want to add to that actually is that the Prophet, peace be upon him, when him and his wife during Eid got all dressed up, Aisha, his wife, radiallahu anha, she asked, can we go to the mosque and watch the Abyssinians do their little tribal dance, right? So obviously this is 1400 years ago. The way they used to dance is the little tribalism with their shield and all that stuff, right? So she said, can we go watch? And it was happening in the Prophet's mosque. So the Prophet and Aisha went and watched this tribal dance, and this woman with a beautiful voice sing. The reason I bring this up is because a lot of Muslims are like, no dancing, no singing, no music. Oh. And in a way, the Prophet, peace be upon him, signaled with his presence being there with his wife is that this is okay. This is permissible. Right. Celebration on Eid is good. Yeah, just play it.
Ramadan, and if so, how does that change your preparation or just how you approach the day-to-day?
Well, all praise is due to God, Allah, for this. Because it's just been a lot of just outside. Like I said, there's a lot of people in other people's business all the time. But for me, in terms of my faith and what I believe in, being part of the Muslim community, being committed to Islam, and also just being committed to all races and cultures, religions, just having an understanding and a respect. I just want to put that as a foundation. There's such a divisive energy out here, or just it's been that way in our society. It's just so divisive. If you're Muslim, then Christians and Jews and all this. I don't want to get into all that, but it's just bringing that into the game. I don't want to, but obviously a lot of people have questions. But yeah, I am taking part in Ramadan with a lot of my brothers and sisters, my Muslim brothers and sisters, and it's been an adjustment. That's really what I can say, just being committed to my service to God, Allah, and then continuing on with whatever I'm guided with. So, just happy to be part of my community and doing the right things. So fasting is definitely part of it. Obviously, if you know anything about the Muslim community. But yeah, I'm just really blessed and grateful to be taking part in this.
And it's one of the most direct statements I've ever seen by a superstar that they're Muslim. Like, he's saying, I'm happy to be a part of the Muslim community, and one of the many things to be a part of. Like, he's just not partaking in Ramadan. He's saying one of the many things I'm taking part of is Ramadan. And obviously fasting is a part of it. Yeah, look at that. Steven Jackson. Oh, and he talked about... Wait, hold on. Let's put... So Steven Jackson is also was an ex-NBA player and is now an NBA analyst and one of the more influential guys in the NBA, honestly, and in the media. Let's check out what he has to say about it. Put on full screen too.
And we were actually talking about Ramadan and how he's doing and he's excited about it, man. He's just happy the place that Allah has it. And I'm giving him the confidence to come out with it, to not be shy. You see now he's praying on the court now. And it's time. It's time for especially guys in that light to stop, to feel like they have to be something that they're not. And that's what Kyrie said. If I want to pray, if I want to praise Allah in front of the world, I should be able to do that without offending anyone. And we're at the point now where we don't care who we offend. You know what I'm saying? That's where we at now. That's why most of the players, and it's a lot of it's more NBA players that's going through Ramadan that y'all know. It's like 8 or 9 right now that's going through Ramadan, and it's time.
Christian
Wow.
New York Daily News.
Wow. Yeah, just pause that.
Someone's already.
That was an amazing statement, man. Like, I have been, and I didn't want to come out and speak on it because I understand that people have personal lives and that they shouldn't have to feel
Obligated.
Obligated.
Put it in the spotlight.
Yeah, to put themselves out there, because it definitely isn't all fun and games. And the fact that Steven Jackson is saying that there's so many Muslim celebrities, so many Muslim people that we don't know about that are secretly Muslim, because it would hurt their brand. It would hurt their image if they were known to be Muslim, which is insane to me. That's an insane concept. And for Kyrie Irving to come out kind of like a Muhammad Ali and be like, I'm Muslim, I'm proud, you're going to watch me pray, you're going to watch me praise God, praise Allah in front of everyone. That's a dope concept. I love that. And I'm so happy we put on this video. This is the first time me watching it. This is crazy. Dude, that's awesome. I really love what Steven Jackson said. I think what he said is was very important. And I wish more people would be more proud of being Muslim. I want being Muslim to trend, because honestly, it is cool. The reason why it's cool is because it's smart. It's an intelligent religion. When you call yourself a Muslim, you should actually feel proud that you're backed by a very intelligent religion. A religion that can back itself logically, no matter what. I've tried, man. Trust me, I've tried to find the logic in it, and it's so well thought out to the T. Where it should be a trend where if you're Muslim, that's what means to be smart. Not if you believe in science. Islam involves science. Science is hand in hand with that. What were you gonna say?
Nothing.
I swear you had something to say.
Oh no, I did, but then I remember you said it, or like heard it. Because he said, I can't remember what Steven Jackson said, but like it was gonna be a question along that of like, why do you not think like famous people like coming out and saying they're Muslim?
Yeah,
and then you said their brand and stuff like that.
The brand, so many Muslims are embarrassed of being Muslim. That's one of the main key things about this podcast, is showing that why would you be embarrassed to be you? Like that doesn't make any sense. That he always came off as a philosophical mind, and
So why do you? Because you always talk about like how people in prison, like while they're in prison, convert to Islam.
Right.
Why do you like? Like Kyrie Irving. I don't know. How am I trying to say this?
Well, I mean, yeah. Why do you think he
Like what
started
incentive?
looking?
Yeah. What do you think got in his mind?
Yeah. Well, what first happens is that you start looking.
Yeah.
Right. And
You're curious.
yeah, and I think what happened is that his dad died last year. I don't
Okay.
remember when his dad died last year. I think his dad died last year, and he's been going through emotional, mental things, personal things through then, which is totally
Understandable.
yeah,
Everyone
totally
does.
understandable. So I guess he started searching from there, and usually what happens to people who start searching, I've said this before, man. I don't know if you've been on for these podcast sessions, but if you genuinely put down the Bible, and you put down, and I'm talking about the Bible, New and Old Testament, one of those 1,000-book ones, and then you put down the Quran, which is around 600 and so, and then you put down Buddhist texts and Confucius texts, and you genuinely study and learn like the way you do anything else in the world. It would be hard for Islam not to come out either on top or at least top 2 for you. Like, and I don't even, I know obviously it's biased because I'm coming from a biased point of view, but dude, I'm proud of him, man. I'm proud of him. I'm happy for him. I'm glad he found what he was looking for, because then that's all that indicates, right? When someone is on that journey, all they're doing when they finally choose something, you're indicating I found what I've been looking for. Like that's kind of the message you sent, and that's one of the more beautiful things about it. Some people find what they're looking for before they even start looking, which doesn't make any sense to me. Like when someone's like, I really want to be a part of this religion, so I'm gonna start this religion, and I'm like, so you didn't look, you just started this one with already your mind
Just dove straight
bent on you going into this religion.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, that's one of the things that I've said this. I said this actually on the podcast with Rahila, the board member for Congress. I said that that's what makes me so confident in my choice of Islam, was because it was much more in my benefit for it not to be true, right? Like, in no way did it benefit me based off of my lifestyle for it to be true.
Yeah.
Right? Because it not only involves changing your habits, but it also kind of involves changing your environment. Because environments are hard to shake off once you're in them, especially when your old self eats away at you all the time. So it wasn't in my benefit at all to be like, yes, this is the correct answer. It was much more in my benefit to accept something else, or to say that God doesn't exist, or to be like, I don't know who God is, but this isn't the one. So that's why I personally feel credible. I would be questioning myself if I felt like
You weren't taking it 100%.
if I was just doing it because I felt like that's what my parents are, and this is what my culture is, I must be this. If I've never felt that way. If anything,
I don't feel like you should either.
No.
Yeah. Especially like with someone who's like, I don't know, deeply devoted to their religion. It can't just be like their outside influences when they were young and growing up. It has to be like they have to take, or well, you have to take charge.
Right.
Or take pride in what you're doing.
Right, and it's kind of like I've been put on here, and I don't know why. I'm not going to let someone else tell me why in a way where it's forced upon me. It's like, tell me why, let me hear it. If I'm interested, if I enjoy it, if it touches my heart, if it fills a little bit of that void that I've been feeling, then I'm gonna definitely take it in and contemplate on it and put it up against other ideas that I hear from other people, and come to a decision myself. And you've known me, man, like for like 10 years now. Like we went to middle school together, in high school and college, and at no point have I ever matched the status quo with what I said or did. Like I was always, and you had me for classes before. I always had to be the anti, whatever people were mostly talking about, and that's genuinely what
you had to be the protagonist, basically.
Yeah, even if I didn't genuinely believe in what I was saying, like even if I genuinely didn't even think what I was saying was true, it just I didn't like that an entire room was agreeing upon something, and no one at all was like, well, let's question this a little bit.
Let's hear the other side.
Because here's the thing, man. I can come to a conclusion. I can come to a conclusion on something about morality or something like that. But someone else can come to the same conclusion, but it's not for the same premises. Like premises. Like, for example, if I say I really like Rocket League, right? I really enjoy Rocket League.
Yeah.
And you said you really enjoy Rocket League. Your premises as to why. Like, you can be saying, I enjoy Rocket League because I love the aerials and I love the wall balls. I could be like, really? I don't agree with that at all. I love Rocket League because I like the shots on goal and I like defense. And you can be like, now we actually kind of disagree. So when someone reaches a conclusion...
That's not how I think about it at all. I think it's just like one of the best... It's the quickest game to play with each other. Like with friends.
Yeah.
It's quick. It's like...
Yeah, it is.
It's like the only game I play with other people now.
It really... And I enjoy playing with other people. Yeah. But what I'm saying off... Don't stick to the example, Ben. What I'm saying off of it is...
Just putting words in my mouth. It's not true.
No, I'm giving an example. Yeah. That's why when someone says they're voting for this candidate or they're voting for that candidate or they believe in this law or this morals code, I'm like, I agree with you. I agree with your conclusion, but why do you actually believe in that? Because I might disagree as to why you're talking like that. And a lot of people just assume that since they both agree on a conclusion that the premises they're putting forward are the same. And if they're not, there's actually a kind of an issue that should be discussed at least.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Have you ever heard it from that angle, or am I?
Yeah, I understand there has to be like reasoning behind why you believe in something.
Right. Yeah. And that's why I don't
and you like to question that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do enjoy.
Which is good.
Yeah, man. Like I actually like. What's your positioning on God, if you don't mind me asking?
Put me on the spot.
Have we ever? Dude, we could cut this out.
I definitely believe that there was a God, but the whole idea that I don't know that He created everything. I don't know. I'm trying to think about this.
Have you see that?
This
that's
is
what
nothing I really gave it a lot of thought. I believe that
my mind, bro.
I believe that there was someone, like, I don't know, a religious leader back then, physically. Like, do you believe he was a physical person on Earth?
No.
No?
No.
I don't know. I just never gave it much thought.
Okay. All right.
Because I just see, like,
hold
the
on.
evolution of the world. And I'm not like, it's definitely one dude. Like,
hold on, I got you.
On the first day, there will be this. On the second day, there will be that. On the third day, there will be that.
Bro, I literally was talking to you about this issue on the way here. I can't believe you're running into the issue that I said Judeo-Christian background people have. And let me tell you guys this, right? I seriously, I actually need to tell them this because this is something that people don't understand. Judeo-Christian background young people usually only understand the idea of God through that background. Yeah. And for some reason, they don't delve into other forms of thought as to what God could be, which kind of blows my mind. So when I ask about God to anyone, not just you, they always argue through the premise of Christian or Jewish background, Judeo-Christian background.
Yeah.
The issue with that is there's other forms of God. There's actually a Jewish philosopher by the name of Spinoza that was excommunicated from the Jewish community because he created his own theology and philosophy on God on his own. And it's very interesting, and it's beyond what Judeo-Christian thought believes. And there's many philosophies on God. So what I'm trying to get at is, let me introduce this then. What would be your philosophy on God if I define God as this? An infinite being with infinite power, with infinite knowledge, and with an infinite mind and capability.